And we told you to come back because we are here with Grand Finals of the Grand Challenge here at this Gym Challenge League Cup here at Second Turner Place in Pico Rivera, California. It's Jesus Coronel, that's Dennis Geisler. We have our finalists once again. We'll repeat, it's Riley Factura and Tyler Deacy. Miraidon, Whimsicott, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Iron Crown, Incineroar and Ursulina for Riley, Tyler on the Zamazenta, Chanpao, Raging Bolt, Dragonite, Amoonguss, and Ditto.
Yeah, and I think the big thing here is, obviously, Incineroar is going to come in fairly useful against a team. Well, that's the thing, is that Intimidate's not elite against this setup just because...
It matters against Chanpao, and it matters against Behemoth Bash specifically.
Yeah, and so that's not necessarily ideal. I mean, you look at it and you're like, oh, that's so many physical attackers, but it really isn't a lot of physical attackers.
It's just 3.
Yeah. It just feels like a lot of physical damage, and obviously Ditto can be either, depending on what it wants to grab. And I don't know if Ty wants to bring the Ditto here, just because I don't know if it has the best matchup.
And here we go, Grand Finals game number 1. Tyler gonna lead off the Chanpao Dragonite Trident True combo, and Riley gonna lead the Whimsicott and Miraidon. And this is the difference between most Miraidon teams that, carry some priority blocking for Rigorath. Unfortunately for Riley, his only means of avoiding that is that Terra Ghost Miraidon, which Chanpao can cover.
Yeah, although at the same time, I don't know how much that these two are able to do to the Miraidon, and even if they go for Extreme Speed Sucker Punch into the Miraidon,
I mean, there is a Terra from Riley.
What if they just get diced up by Discharge, or even just Electro Drift? What if Riley just clicks buttons?
Well, he is clicking a button, and that's Terra Ghost Miraidon.
Yeah.
Which is just in case for Extreme Speed, which we do not know if Tyler even went for, at least as of yet. And there is a Terra as well from Tyler. Yeah. See what this is? It's Terra Normal Dragonite.
Yeah, it is the Terra Normal Dragonite, which is good defensively regardless. It takes away the weakness to Dragon Pulse, it takes away the weakness to Moonblast, so still solid in this matchup.
Time to see what happens to this turn. Extreme Speed into the Miraidon. Unfortunately, it's not a Dragon type anymore, it's a Ghost type. Front Chop does indeed double into the Miraidon, and it might have been a Speed Tie, and Miraidon fades in a single turn, and that's why you run Chanpao next to an Extreme Speed user.
Yeah, I mean... usually you expect it to be the Sucker Punch there, and I think the Throat Chop is a bit more damage. I'm not sure if it mattered there necessarily, but yeah, that was a lot of damage against Miraidon, and as we kind of talked about earlier, if you ever have the opportunity to knock someone's restricted out on turn 1 for not a whole lot in return, yeah, you want to do it, and that was a really good case of why you want to do it, because now Miraidon's gone, Terra's gone also, no more terrestrializing for Riley.
And here comes Urshifu for the fallen Miraidon there as Chanpao took a Moonblast down to his sash. And I also had to wonder how this Miraidon is trained, because both Miraidon and Chanpao both have 135 base speed. So it could be possible as a speed tie, or it could be possible that Riley's Miraidon might have been a modest nature.
There are a lot of Miraidons that don't go for the maximum amount of speed that they can have. So I'm not going to speculate too much on it, but certainly a very good turn for Tyler. And now both these targets here are pretty nice, juicy extreme speed victims. Yeah.
Time to see where this one goes, and this goes out to the detect with the Urshifu, unfortunately. Time to see where this Chanpao decided to attack. If it did at all, it's Sucker Punch, and it couldn't even find something. It's Sucker Punches into the air. And yeah, it tried to fight the Urshifu. It's going to get knocked out by the Moonblast.
Yeah, that is a play that made sense in my head. Which, I mean, that's the downside of going for a play like that. But at the same time, you still have to feel like you're in a pretty good spot, because you do have the Amoonguss here against the Urshifu. Even if the Urshifu goes for the close combat, it is going to have a pretty unpleasant time. And you also have the... You also don't let Dragonite get hit by Whimsicott. Basically, your Dragonite is going to be staying at full HP this turn, and your Dragonite will be able to hit something with extreme speed, which is going to feel pretty nice, because you're going to hit something for pretty decent damage.
Yeah, that's like the nature of this game. It's just like, this Amoonguss is able to redirect the Urshifu's damage output away from the Dragonite, which you would love to click close combat on Dragonite if you can, but I'm not sure, I don't even think you can, and I do agree, you have to click close combat, because you want to take as minimal Rocky down helmet damage as possible.
Well, and you don't really want to...
Or you switch it out.
Anyway. Yeah, I think you have to switch out there. You probably want to switch out one of these two, at least. And if you do switch that out, I wonder if Tyler reads that and just goes for the extreme speed into the into that Whimsicott.
But there is an extreme speed coming out now from this Dragonite. It does target the Iron Crown, and that's decent damage still, but it's not like the damage you want to see. And that Rage Power was definitely for an Inertia Food that's just not there anymore.
Yeah, for being that resisted, it was pretty decent damage, but yeah, and Dragonite will take a little bit of damage there. I guess the big concern here now is that Iron Crown does actually have a super effective move against Amoonguss. Yeah, again, you don't want to get like too silly and just like throw away all your Pokemon right now if you're Tyler, just because you have an advantage. But I do think that you can try to just deal as much damage as possible to some of these Pokemon here.
Yeah, that is a protect as well from this Whimsicott to keep that focus dash up for as long as it can. It's yet to take damage, and that's a protect. And in comes the Psychic into the Dragonite just in case if a redirection were to happen. And down goes Dragonite. It was either it or Amoonguss going down.
Yeah, and I'm actually surprised at how much that did to Dragonite. I guess I shouldn't be. It is boosted by Life Orb and Quark Drive, but and Iron Crown just has a really high special attack from the start.
And Sludge Bomb's blanked by the protect.
Yeah, that actually puts Riley in a pretty decent spot. Not an incredible spot, but like a pretty solid one.
And there's Zamazenta to end it out for Tyler.
Yeah, just because you have to assume that the Zamazenta is the last Pokemon here. You can at least draw... I mean, and that's the thing that kind of awkward now, is that you have to draw away the Psychic from Zamazenta, because otherwise it'll do pretty decent damage there. But then Amoonguss probably just drops. Although, do you really need Amoonguss? Like, how much longer do you need Amoonguss for is a genuine question.
Yeah, because Zamazenta still has to deal with Inertia Food. It still has to deal with the Iron Crown. It was like in front of it right now.
Yeah. I mean, you probably do want that Amoonguss to not get knocked out this turn, but... I mean, that's a question of will it be.
Yeah, and there's a Tailwind as well to make sure that Urshifu has an easier time with the Zamazenta later on in the battle.
Amoonguss didn't Rage Powder.
I mean, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because even if you did Rage Powder, you are going to take an Amoonguss down to 0 HP. It's Zamazenta versus the world now for Tyler. Let's see if they can find a way out of this game, as Iron Crown's going to take more damage from that Life Orb. Body Press knocks out Iron Crown.
Yeah, gotta get the crown out of the way now. I guess... I don't know how much Moonblast does here. One, I don't know how much Moonblast does here, and two, I don't know how much, presumably, Close Combat does here? I don't know.
I mean, you click Close Combat for super effective damage, and the risk with Close Combat is how much damage do you take at -1 defense afterwards? That's like the risk you play, because if you think it's bad enough, you click Searching Strikes. Yeah. If you think it's worth the risk, you go for the Close Combat. Here's Moonblast into the Zamazenta, not doing a whole lot of damage. I mean, it gets around 25% HP, and Searching Strikes. Riley does not want to take the risk of that defense drop.
Yeah, and I don't know. It looks like we're getting close to the range. Yeah, it looks like we're getting close to the range where another Moonblast is going to do it.
Yeah, I think so too. See where the body press lands. So the Urshifu does it. Not enough damage. Yeah, definitely a defense drop would have knocked it out.
Yeah. So,
and the battle's canceled. Riley, after losing Mariah on turn 1, wins game 1.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, Riley just played a lot of 50-50s or similar really well. And as I was kind of saying in the middle of it, it's like, Tyler, you don't want to just throw away a bunch of Mons while you're trying to like finish off a team that no longer has its Miraidon, but Riley just ended up protecting the right stuff on the right turns. Tyler got a little bit... I mean, that's the thing about the Choice Band Dragonite, is sometimes you just get too committal on your extreme speed, and you just can't hit anything, and you're not doing enough damage, and the Iron Crown was there to soak up a bunch of hits as well. I honestly wonder if, well, yeah, I really don't know what would have been the better play there. Yeah, as it should be. I think the no battle music's really funny. I really appreciate that that's what Riley does. But
all right, here we go. Game number 2. Riley needs one more to repeat as Cup champion, because the last time Riley participated in a Gym Challenge tournament, it was a League Cup, and he ended up winning the whole thing. And Tyler needs to win 2 in a row in order to win his first tournament at Cycle 0 of the season.
Yeah, and I don't hate the same lead from Ty as last game. I honestly think that the worst side of the lead was actually the Miraidon Whimsicott, as we kind of saw, as that was how that played out. I do just think Ty has to play better around the subsequent turns, and I think that lead, and even that 4 for Tyler, is basically the right play. So at least this stage is not difficult for Tyler to choose. I think Riley has a lot more to have to choose from here, just knowing that, okay, that was what happened to my Miraidon last time. I really need to make sure that doesn't happen again. But what do I lead to make sure that I don't get hit really hard with Extreme Speed Sucker Punch, or Extreme Speed Throat Chop even, I guess.
Yeah, that's the risk of running the Terra Ghost, because like you have to cover for one of the two things, but you can't cover for both. So it's like, was there a potential argument at you not clicking Terastallizing the Miraidon? Because if you know you're...
because he still dropped.
To an extreme speed?
E-speed plus Throat Chop, yeah.
No, okay, if that's the case, then you're better off not Terastallizing, because you're still going to take 2 hits regardless.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, it might have been like Extreme Speed plus Sucker Punch, I guess, especially knowing that it was going to be Terra Normal Extreme Speed, and that one has the band, like... Dragonite's the one that does more damage out of the two.
Whoa! Tyler leading the Ditto alongside the Miraidon, and calls out the Miraidon perfectly with the Imposter!
Got the call on the Miraidon. I like that a lot. Very, very silly. Very, very silly. I like that quite a bit.
And now it's a literal speed tie, because this Ditto's holding a safety goggles, so it does not have a choice scarf.
Yeah.
And, well, it's not speed tie until Whimsicott sets up Tailwind.
I was gonna say, Whimsicott does have Tailwind, so it's not like the... Riley's Miraidon can't go for something, but at the same time, your best damage is what? Dragon Pulse? I don't know that Dragon Pulse picks up this KO. Especially, I mean, if you just pull the...
Terra Ghost button?
Well, I more mean if you just pull the Rage Powder and it takes a hit instead.
And there comes the Terra Ghost once again from Riley's Miraidon.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to avoid getting hit with Dragon Pulse, at the very least. Although you do put yourself in a situation to be hit by Electro Drift, which is very scary.
See what happens? Yeah, there is that Rage Powder just to redirect away Miraidon's powerful attacks away from Tyler's Ditto, who's now copying that Miraidon and no longer is playing a speed tie thanks to that Tailwind that is set up. See what happens here? It's going to be a Dragon Pulse into this Amoonguss. How would it trade? Oh, that's actually a pretty good tank. And Dragon Pulse retaliates back at Miraidon. Not enough.
Yeah. And it would have KO'd if Miraidon didn't go for that Terra Ghost there, so that's why you do that. Although, obviously, the Terra Fairy is generally preferred, because it takes no damage against that, but still got away with it. And now, honestly, you can kind of do the same play again if you're Ty. And
Tyler's going to Terra.
Yeah. I wonder if this is the Terra Normal.
It is Terra Normal on the Ditto.
Yeah. This was recently changed. Kind of goes between the Terra Ghost and the Terra Normal. Obviously, the Normal has a solid matchup into a couple of things. This is probably not where you anticipate using it most of the time, but in any case...
We see Dragon Pulse get redirected again by the Amoonguss' Rage Power, so Amoonguss takes 2 for the team, and down it goes to that stray Dragon Pulse after it took it the second time around. Whimsicott is going to Moonblast, and that
Spec attack drop, yeah.
Yeah, holding the special attack drop, but also that's avoidance of the weakness. Okay. There is no special attack drop. Miraidon is going to fall from Riley's Ditto.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Tyler's Ditto.
Yeah, well, yeah. it's confusing. The Miraidon is back and forth.
Well, it's Miraidon no more, because it's gone.
Yeah, that means no more Miraidons here, and also no more Terastallizing. The Ditto will be Terra Normal, whatever it comes in on.
And Raging Bolt's coming in.
Yeah, and Raging Bolt now in with...
And the booster energy!
Yeah, Raging Bolt now in with Miraidon out of the way is really good for Ty, because what threatens this thing?
It would have been Iron Crown if it didn't Terastallize the Miraidon earlier.
That's the thing, with Terastallizing down...
And Ditto's going to copy the Whimsicott now.
Ooh, I like that. Gonna grab the Tailwind now, potentially. Or just the ability to Encore, maybe? I don't know.
Iron Crown Score Drive's going to activate again for that special attack boost. So
Terra Normal Whimsicott. You don't see that one often.
You really don't. And I'm more so curious of what happens in this turn, because Raging Bolt can obviously click a Thunderclap into the Iron Crown, because it's booster energy boosted by the photosynthesis. That's an electric terrain boost, and it's stab. So it's doing a whole lot of damage. Yeah, you get the Tailwind up just to match the speed that Riley's offering, which will be beneficial in the long run. Moonblast is going to connect onto this Raging Bolt. That's so much damage.
Did a lot of damage.
And a special attack drop too! Psychic goes into the Raging Bolt, and it's gonna get knocked out, so thankfully that special attack drop didn't matter, but Raging Bolt also just went down!
Yeah, that was a lot more damage than I'm shocked at how much damage that Whimsicott did to Raging Bolt right there, and that... I mean, that very much swings the game in a lot of ways.
And there's Zamazenta, Tyler's last hope to keep his tournament winning hopes alive. Dauntless Shield activates, and it is effectively a 2-on-3, and Zamazenta thankfully has speed advantage.
Yeah, it's important to note, though, that Whimsicott is, Tyler's Ditto is now permanently Whimsicott, which isn't necessarily what although apparently this Whimsicott's absolutely cracked and has a ton of special attack. This speed tie could matter because I believe that Riley is trying to encore it into that Tailwind. So whichever one wins the speed tie,
encore into Tailwind. That's actually pretty smart. If you win that speed tie, you do get the encore off, and now Whimsicott's locked using Tailwind for as long as it's remaining on the field, which is stuck.
Yeah, which pretty
Heat Bash into the Whimsicott. It's gonna put it down to Sash.
Yeah, and I mean, you would have liked to be able to hit it with the Moonblast there, and maybe you could have if the other Whimsicott didn't win the speed tie, but that's how it goes.
Here's an extremely boosted Psychic into the Zamazenta. That's over half damage.
I was gonna say, I don't think there's a whole lot of ways out for Tyler at this point. Whimsicott Moonblast is gonna do a decent chunk to Zamazenta. Ditto is stuck using Tailwind for some reason. It's getting awkward. It's getting real awkward.
Yeah, Ditto once again stuck using Tail, but it can't do it as it has already been up. Whimsicott encores Zamazenta into Behemoth Bash, so it cannot click Body Press against his Iron Crown, which it would have loved to do. And there it goes into the Iron Crown. That's not doing anything!
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's real unfortunate.
And Tachyon Cutter lands on the Ditto. Only needs one hit, but I think Iron Crown has this in the bag for Riley.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one's over. I think even the Whimsicott could probably pick this one up with, maybe not one Moonblast, but pretty quickly would be able to get this one done with.
And who said you needed your Miraidon to win this matchup? Yeah, you needed it for your terrain, but it's effectively an over case. Without Miraidon, Riley defied the odds with the Iron Crown, showing its boosted prowess as he wins the League Cup here at Psycho Turtle Plays!
Yeah, that was a fascinating set, honestly. I mean, you see how good Riley is with the game, period, losing some of these Pokemon that quickly, losing the Miraidon that quickly in both games, and still making it work. I don't know. It was just a very interesting set. Again, it kind of shows the way that Ty's team definitely wants to play around. Okay, we do have to take hits sometimes. We do have to make 50-50 calls sometimes. We do have to just kind of hit stuff. And obviously, I'm really curious where that second game would have gone if Ty's Whimsicott moved first, or Ty's Ditto Whimsicott moved ahead, because I have to assume that something much better would have happened for Ty. Obviously, the other Whimsicott would have just wasted its turn, might have gotten knocked out by a Moonblast, wouldn't have been able to encore, etc., etc. Things go down the path from there. It still might not have mattered, but I don't know. Fascinating set.
Yeah, because like if the Whimsicott from the Ditto that Tyler copied would have actually been able to move, which I presume because it went for Tailwind with boosted priority, I presume it went for Encore at something. I think it might have been trying to hit the Whimsicott with Encore Moonblast. I think that was what Tyler trying to do to prevent, Whimsicott's disruptive means, and unfortunately he lost the speed tie.
Yeah.